welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? So today the inspiration for me of making this video is actually from my dream. I recently been constantly dreaming about the same thing over and over again, and each time is like every couple days I would have a dream that is a continued version of the last dream. So the stories in my dream was just continues. So I feel maybe it's a sign for me to share the message that I had in the dream with you guys, and see how you guys think and feel about it. So before we start, I just want to say this is my dream, so it's very personal. It's my personal experiences. So hope you guys could see it from a different perspective and be rational about it. The first time I had the dream, if someone comes in my dream and tells me that the dream I had is actually the reality of the true world for me, but my daily life is actually the dream. Is the daily life, like the life I'm living right now, the world I'm in right now, is actually the dream. When we are dreaming, we don't know that we are in a dream. We thought that's the reality. It's only when you wake up and then you feel that was the dream. So it's almost like a reversed version of how it's telling me that my current life right now is actually a dream, but I won't be able to notice it until I'm fully awake, until I'm awakened from this dream. But before that, I won't be able to know that I'm actually in a dream. And so that was the first dream, and the message I've got from that dream. So the second dream I had is near the ocean, by the sea, and we're all mermaids, and there's like the leader of the mermaids. He tells me that the world I'm living in right now is actually a dream. It's a game. It's not real, but we all rise up to join this game to feel and experience. My decipher of this dream, of what he says about me, is we're all just elements. We don't have a physical form before, and we're all like a drop of water in the ocean. We were the same. We are the same. There's no difference between me, him, her, them. There are no difference because we're all just a drop of water in the ocean. And when we merge into the ocean, when we merge into the big sea, and everyone becomes one, there's no differences anymore. One water drop merges with another water drop, and it becomes ocean, it becomes sea, and it becomes water elements. And there's no differences between each other drops in there because it all connected. It all merged into one. Since we have this method, the way of experiencing the world, so all the water drop, it's just a metaphor. Like all the water drop in the ocean, we rise up to the surface, and then we become like this human body, like we become this like human-like version of ourselves. And each water drop, we become like different physical existence. We become a different physical formality, that we started to have gender, we have appearance, we have personalities. So because of this game, we were able to rise up, and we were able to show how different we could be. Like each water drop, although we were the same, we are the same, but we could be different. And how different we could be. That we could have different face, we have different personalities, and we have different voice. Everything about us is different, is unique. But it all comes from a water drop. All comes from the water elements, that we were exactly the same. There's no differences. And there's no separation between us. We were just existing at a source. We were just existing at somewhere and floating. And there's no physical formality, there's no physical form, there's no physical barriers to separate us. All the water drops are merged into a bigger water drop, and the bigger water drop merged with each other and become the river, become the lake, become the ocean, become the sea, becomes the water elements. And it's floating, it's flexible, and it's existing. But however, since we have this game, like this life game, this online game, this way that all the water drop like rose up, and then we formed into different physical formality, that we started to show how each water drop could be different with each other. Like even they were just all water, but they could be totally different. Like, so in my dream there were different people, different areas, and people were doing different activities. And then this man was telling me that we rise up every time and we choose to play this game because we want to know each other, because we want to get to know each other. My understanding of that is through other people we get to know ourselves. Get to know other people is the way of get to know ourselves, because there's no difference between me and you at the core level. We're just all the same thing. We're just part of the element of this world. So before we become human, there were a source, there were an element, and we were just all in there existing. We don't have a physical body, we don't have a physical appearance, and there's no physical barriers, and there's no formality to sort of separate each water drop or each element. We're just existing there all together, all connected, all merging to one. Everything we see right now were just part of the oneness before. And then the oneness rise up and become multiple and millions of the water drop. And then the water drop fall into this, like created this physical formality of the human body. And we were able to use this method, use this way to express ourselves, to express our inner core, like how different we could be, how vivid, how fabulous, how flexible, and how loving, how cheering, how much variety we could create through this physical form. And I think that was the meaning of it. And then the other part is in this dream there was like different district. So people rise up after we gain this physical formality. We started to create our own tribe. We started to create our own area. So there was like blue, red, orange. So different area was separated by a web. And there were people playing games in their own area. And there were also people playing the common area. And there were also people playing together across areas. Through this physical body, we started to show our differences. We started to shine through our inner beauty, our uniqueness. And because we could be the same, we could also be so different. And then the differences started to create the similarities within the group. So we kind of developed like each area, each district, like country or different community or group, and then to attract people who have like the similar traits with each other into one group. And people could choose either they play with each other, like they interact with each other, or they don't. They just stay isolated with themselves. The other inspiration about this dream is I started to think about myself through my body. It's almost like, at the core level, they're all me. Like if you see from the screen, this is my hands, these are my hands, and this is my head. But without a mirror, you can't see my body is actually connected. Although that's a common sense that our body is actually connected. We connect with arm, and then we have hands, we have a head, right? But if you only see it from the screen, like these are the hands and this is the head. So almost makes us feel that the hands and the head are separate. They're different. They have different function. They have different physical formality. Like hands have 10 fingers, and the head is rounded. So that's the differences between my head and my hands. But however, they're all me. They're all part of me. They're all part of my body. They're all part of me. And through a physical formality, we were able to use this to express our uniqueness, our differences. Although they're all the water drop, they were all from the water element, they were all from the sea, but they could express the uniqueness within them. They were the same, but they are also different. Each water drop is different. The extreme of differences create conflicts, create confusions. Because at the core level, our soul knows, our soul and our subconscious knows that we are the same. We were all come from the same sources, that we were one, but through the different formality that we see how different we are, and this causes conflict and confusions. And can you imagine me biting my hand just because I'm confused, like why the hand is look like this? Is this part of me? Why it's doing the different things, and why it's wearing jewelries, like why it's wearing bracelets, like why the head don't have it, let's destroy it. So that cause conflict, that cause war, and that cause barriers between people. So imagine we were all from the same sources, and this was a blessing for us, that all of us choose to play this game, to join this game, to experience, to express the uniqueness within us. But however, the uniqueness caused confusion and conflict, that we started to attacking each other, and we feel like it's unfair, why the hands is here, why the hand looks like this and the head looks like this. But we aren't able to know this is all our body, this is part of us. So almost it's like to say, because we don't have a mirror to show our soul level, at the soul level, at the quantum level, that we are all connected, that we are all the same, that we are all just a water drop. But instead, we can only see the differences between each of us. And the differences creates confusion, fear, and conflict within our minds, that we feel we have to solve the differences, because the conflicts comes from the subconscious and our soul level understanding that we were the one, that we were the same, we were all water drops. So our subconscious knows that we are the same, we should be the same. But the physical reality world shows that you're different, like it's literally different. Now we have different color, we have different physical appearance, we have different voice, everything about us is different and is actually unique. So this is cause conflict and confusions, that we feel like this is a problem to solve. That's why, the community and sort of district created based on similarities, and culture created based on similarities. And we were always trying to, the human actions were always trying to uniform and unify all the differences into one, because our subconscious and our soul knows that we were one, we are one. That's why we're causing all these conflicts, causing all this disagreement and arguments within each other, within different tribes. At the beginning it was all just love and friendship, because we want to know each other. Because once you are in this physical body, you are not able to understand yourself just by yourself. You can only understand yourself through other people, because other people is you. They were you. You were all the same. We were all the water drops, but we don't understand ourselves. But through this different physical formality, we were able to express at the core level, like even we're the same, we're also unique, we're also different. So through other people, we understand ourselves. We have a deeper understanding of ourselves and of other people. And it's the same for other people as well. They understand themselves through us, through different people, through this world. So that is just how this works. This is just how this works. So the other thing he said to me in the dream is, we rise up and we choose to play this game. This is all like voluntary. This was all voluntary. When we become on water drop level, that we want to experience differences and uniqueness. We want to show like how each water drop, when they rose up, when they're apart from the sea, and how different it could be and how much uniqueness within them. But however, once we're in the game, we forgot that we were one, but our soul and our subconscious level knows that we were one. And then our aim and our goal, instead of using this physical formality to express ourselves, our aim is all aimed towards to solve the differences between each other, because we thought that is a problem, because we were all water drops. We all come from the same sources. We were all the same, and how could now everything is different? And how could now everything is so unique? And then uniqueness becomes a problem that needs to be solved. This uniqueness becomes an aim of this game, that everyone who joined, every water drop who joined this game started to aiming to dissolve the uniqueness instead of accepting it and understanding it and learn from it. We started to aim to resolve the differences, because that is a conflict with our core, with our inner knowledge about ourselves. It's different than what we thought we are. Before we become human, before we choose this physical formality, we were all the same. We were part of the elements. We were part of the ocean. We were part of the water. We were just a water drop. And there's no differences between this water drop to that water drop. Water drop connects, meets each other, emerges, floating, existing. There's no physical barrier. Any physical barrier cannot stop water, because water is flexible, adapting. It keeps floating towards the bigger sources, towards the ocean. So we were just all water drop, and then we merged with each other. We are all connected. We share the same conscious. We share the same heartbeat. And then we were one. We were just element. We were just existing. There's no formality. There's no uniqueness. Everything was the same, and we were all connected. There's no difference between me and you. There's no differences between the water. There's no barriers. There's no conflict. There's no differences within the water, because water is just floating and it's just existing. It's just supporting life. It's just part of life. It's just part of earth. It's just part of this world. It's actually a big part of this world. That water elements, it's a big part of this world. And then we were blessed with this game, this dream of life. And all the water drop rose up and then rise up. They choose to experience and explore this dream. They choose a physical formality to express the uniqueness within them, because we want to get to know each other. Like, even though we're all water drop, the water drop wants to know the other water drop. Like, hey, how are you? How different are you? We wanted to get to know each other. That's why we choose a physical formality to express the uniqueness within us, almost like the different light and energy within us, because we found it's magical. We found it's quite magical that how the same element could be different, how the same element could have so much uniqueness within them. We found it's quite magical that life is magical, like everything for our existence is magical. So we choose the formality, we choose this physical formality so we could express how grateful and happy we are. And we choose this physical formality to show how unique we are. We choose this physical formality to let other water drop, let other elements, our other existence, to know the other side of them, a different side of them, how they could be different too, how their life could be different, how much uniqueness within us, like actually really touching when I think about this. It's touched me at my heart and soul level that how miraculous life is, how miraculous our existence is. So our original thoughts and our inspiration, our initiation, the very first great idea was just through this physical formality. We show each other how the different side we have within us. There was no I, there was no you. There was just us. We were just one. Everything was just us. It was just, we were just all part of us. So we were trying to show us, trying to show how a different side you have within you. So we choose the different formality, and then we were into the different bodies through different physical formality materials. We show how unique we are. That's we could have different hair, we could have different tastes of food, we could have totally different life experience, and we could have totally different understanding about life and perspectives, personalities, voice, and relationship you want, and everything. It could be so unique. And then what happens with these differences is, this is the sad part, that how it happens and what happens with the differences is our subconscious and our soul level knows that we are the same, we were the one. So when we see the differences, like how different these are, we automatically think this is a problem that needs to be solved. So our aim has changed after we were in this physical formality, after we were in this physical body. Our initiation has changed because of transformation. The conflicts comes from the understanding of knowing we are the one, we were the one, we were the same. But seeing that everything is different, feeling like touching, like through the physical touch, through this physical world, we seeing the differences within us, but knowing there are no differences within us. So the differences in this physical world becomes a problem to be solved, because it's not what we thought we are. It is different. It's a conflict with our understanding of ourselves. So that is how the conflicts and arguments and disagreement rises. It's because the initiation change. It's because the confusion and conflict and fear between happens within this transformation from no physical formality to physical formality, from no differences to everything is different. So there are no balance between this. It feels like we either have to be all the same, that we existing at the same sources, we were just part of the element, or everything just all be unique, that we have to cut off the ties between each of us. Seeing that we are all unique, different individuals, so we should cut ties between each individuals. So we stay separated and isolated, we stay unique and unconnected. But we are connected. So this is how this conflict and misunderstanding rises, is because we are connected. We are one. We're the same. But seeing we are not one. We are not connected. We're not the same. So that is the conflict. That is the differences. I don't know how you guys think and feel about it, but I kind of feels like the messenger, the guy in my dream, they are trying to use a simple way that I could understand and comprehend to show me like what is really happening. I found it's very interesting, and it's a whole new perspective of how I perceive, how I understanding about the world. Maybe we were just all a drop of water that comes from the same element, but something I feel is we are all connected. We were all one, and before we have the physical formality, there are no ways for us to show the uniqueness within us, because there's no difference, there's no separation, there's no barriers, because we're just all connected. We're just the ocean, just the sea, just the energy, that we are within each other. We are within each other. So there's no differences and barriers and conflict. And I feel like the message in this dream kind of provide a new way of how we should perceive the world and how we should perceive the differences within us. Instead of to solve the differences, instead of to aim to solve the difference so the physical world align with our subconscious and our soul level understanding of who we are, we should just accept it, because this was our idea. This was our initiations, that we wanted to get to know each other. We wanted to see the miracles in life, in our existence, and how miraculous and how wonderful it is of our existence, that how could we all from the same sources, but we are all could develop our own uniqueness within us and shine through it. That is so miraculous. Like, there's no words to describe it unless you experience it. And that is what we are doing now. We are experiencing the miraculous of our existence itself right now. That is our life. That is the life itself, is to experience and to understand how miraculous, how is the existence of ourselves. It's so special, so unique, and such a miracle. It's such a miracle. Well, from the message and from this dream, I do feel we should have an open heart and open mind to accept the differences and uniqueness of each other, to allow them to experience a different life, a different world, different experiences, because that is also a way, a perspective for us to see the possibilities of ourselves, for us to understanding ourselves through other people, through other people's experience, through other people's eyes, through other people's uniqueness. We see ourselves, we understand ourselves, we understand who we are and what possibility could we have. So there's really no you and me, she and him. Everyone, everything, even though we see how different it could be, like how far we could live from each other, and maybe you're on the other side of the world and I'm on the opposite side of the world. That's a huge difference. But even with so much differences, we were one. We are the same. We're the same. There's no you and me. It's just us. It's just one. It's just us. We would all come from the us, the one. And we're all connected. Even though right now the physical formality and the physical barrier, the distances, makes us cannot merge with each other, to connect with each other on soul level, on a physical form, that we aren't able to merge with each other just like how we used to. Like we were just one, but instead we're in like different, each individual containers. But that doesn't kill the fact that we are one. We're the same, and there's no differences between us. It's just uniqueness within us. It's just all us. There's no others. It's just all us. Okay, so that is everything I'd like to share today. It's some funny story about the dream I had. Oh, I found it's very inspiring for me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like to see your thoughts on the comment below. Well, let me know, because your thoughts might be my thoughts too. Your thoughts could be some thoughts that I haven't discovered yet.